Hi, my name is Will Nunziata, and I'm a New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film, and I'm also a proud FENIX Global Artist Ambassador. Today, I am thrilled to be speaking with the acclaimed singer-songwriter, Sam Robbins. For more on Sam, you can read more about him right below this video, but in the meantime, here is a sneak peek at Sam's incredible talent.
I didn't want to say your name, standing on your fire escape, watching all the good stars fade, like the ghosts behind. You don't remind.
Well, hello, Sam. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It is so great to meet you, and I'm so excited that the audience got a little sneak peek of a song off of your upcoming debut album, the song Remind Me. And you are coming from Nashville right now, and I want to know a little bit about this album coming out on May 14th.
Yeah. Well, it's great to meet you also. And the album is really cool. I've been working on it for a long time, and it got delayed because of COVID. But yeah, it's sort of like, it's not a concept album, but all the songs were written over this period of like this very tumultuous period of my life, and very much they all sort of capture a certain moment, each little snapshot of, and in that way they all kind of are tied together. And I've never put out anything like this before, any project this big, so yeah, I'm excited.
Well, Sam, I love it because as a theater director, I was talking to you a little bit offline about the concept album that's just that's out right now of a musical I co-conceived and I'm set to direct. And it reminded me of Little Black Book in that I get the feeling, and again, of just the songs that I was able to catch on YouTube that you've released thus far on YouTube, but and elsewhere, is that we are eavesdropping in on these little playlets. They're like little 3-act plays. And again, I'm not turning your album into a theater piece, but you're welcome and I'm interested and available. But I love the idea, because I always think also cinematically. So I'm listening to your songs and I'm closing my eyes and there is something 3 and 4 dimensional about these, what might be ordinary moments, but something extraordinary coming from them.
Interesting. That's cool. Well, thanks. I think, I mean, one of the things that I really like in music, and theater also, because it's funny, this song, Remind Me, a lot of people were like, oh, that sounds like it's from a musical, like, you know what I mean? It's kind of funny. I just played it the other day and someone said that to me. They were like, I want to write a musical with that in it and stuff. But like, the thing I really like about music is I don't really love like super sad or super happy. I like the kind of stuff that's like between that feeling. You know what I mean? Like,
well, dealing with the mess and dealing with that kind of purgatory gray zone area.
Yeah, and like that's because that's obviously what most of like life experiences are. You know what I mean?
Life's
So
messy, and I love that you
Yeah.
deal with the mess. But also, we're eavesdropping in on, I say characters, but these songs with
Yeah.
them literally figuring it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's what it is. That the whole record is just sort of like, it was me in real time. Like I would write a song and then we would go record it like 2 days later
I love
while
that.
I was like in the middle of this insanity of, you know what I mean? It's interesting.
Talk a little bit about your song "Saying Amen," and
Oh yeah.
where that came about.
Yeah, that song, I wrote that song. I'd never tried to write anything like political or anything. It just felt like that was too much to take on, you know what I mean? And that one, I just wrote it as a letter to this guy I saw on Facebook that posted, the people that post the crazy stuff on Facebook. And I just wrote a letter to the guy. You know what I mean? Like I was just like, all right, like what would I say to this guy? And yeah, and that song, I never intended it to be anything I would like release or put out. But that song has done like cool things for me, and I've been able to connect with people, and then also some people have not liked that song. And like on some like radio stuff, people are like, no, Like they won't have me play it, or I did some interview where I played that song and the guy didn't air it. You know what I mean?
Well, listen, Sam, what I love what you're already doing, even before the album drops, is that you are promoting conversation. And I love artists that devastate with a capital D. And you do it with a sense of restraint in that you let like your art do the talking. And I love the fact that you consider yourself an old soul singer-writer, you know, this James Taylor, Neil Young sensibility, because I am an old soul myself. I was born in the wrong freaking era, so I get it. But again, what I love so much about your work, seen through not only saying amen or remind me, which you got a little sneak peek of, but you know, the song Finally Feeling Young as well. It's kind of like this old school sensibility of looking back, but pushing it forward in your own voice. Does that make any sense?
Man, I need you to write my bio. This is like amazing.
No, I just want to direct the musical of the album. I'm pitching myself. Do you understand?
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, that's better than I could have ever said it.
Look, I speak the truth. The one thing I'm proud of, besides, you know, I'm proud that I finally found my husband, God bless, someone who can deal with this. But I pride myself in being able to be very receptive to all art. But I don't feel everything. I feel what you're doing. And so I'm just regurgitating. This is like more a therapy session than an interview for you. You're welcome. But I'm regurgitating my feelings because I know that other people are going to feel and are feeling the same way about your work.
Interesting. Well, I'm glad, you know, because I think part of the sort of 70s old soul singer-songwriter thing is like, you try to like let go of the expectations maybe more than other music, you know, because especially these songs, like there's a song that I wrote about my dad on the album that it has no hook, no chorus. It's just kind of a written through song. And I wrote it like for myself, you know, I didn't write it to promote it or to pitch it or anything. And yeah, that's probably like the most requested song I have, you know, it's interesting, but yeah, that's cool to hear because I have no idea what anybody thinks of it. You know what I mean? Because I just need to
we're in the trenches as artists, right? You know, and then we put something out and it's like, okay, we'll see what people think. But I also just love this unapologetic nature that you have, that in whatever way you wrote the songs for this album, that it came from a deep place of truth. And it wasn't for, oh, I'm going to write a song because it's going to get 1 million hits or it's going to be a Billboard #1. Like, you actually wrote it from truth. And I think that's inspiring. And I hate to say old school, but, you know, it is.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've sort of personally, and even through the process of this album, and even more now, like I've sort of found my lane a little more. It's like, it's not, you know what I mean? It's not exactly like, it's not like I'm gonna be like the songs. They're not like gonna be on the top country playlist on Spotify or whatever, or like pop, or even like Jason Mraz, Jack Johnson singer-songwriter thing. Like, it's just kind of like another thing that I think ultimately, like, it's not as quantifiable as a genre, but the people that like it will ultimately
be obsessed with it. Well, I get it, and I hear what you're saying, and I'm going to agree to disagree to agree. I agree with you that yes, I can see like you're doing your own niche. It's its own freaking thing. Once in a generation, you're gonna have those cult followers, and the people that hear and love your music are gonna freaking devour it. But I think there's a universality to your stuff that I think people are getting a little tired of the normal country bop pop thing. That I think people are looking for something different. And when I think about FENIX and you coming on board as an artist to not only share your music in the United States, but in the East and worldwide. Again, I'm thinking big term for you in that I could see your music having such more of a universal landscape, even more so outside the United States.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, there's a big scene for it in the UK, I found. And I would love to, obviously I can't even like imagine doing touring in the UK right now. You know what I mean? It's just like the thought of touring again, but like Yeah, there's a big scene in Europe in general, I found. I don't know about further east than Europe, but you know, like there's a big scene for it there, and I would love to experience that. And
No, it's a vibe. And the cool thing, right, about music is that it is a universal language. And sometimes you just kind of try and find, the places around the world that are vibing with that sound. And, I'm so excited for your release of your debut album, Finally Feeling Young, on May 14th. And I think you're an incredible, incredible artist. And I really, for people who don't know you, Sam, I wish they would just not only read more about you below this video, but look you up and just do a deep dive in on YouTube, Spotify. In May 14th, don't stream, people, buy the album. And Sam, I'm so grateful for your time today.
thank you. I really appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Thanks, Sam. Bye.
In the digital age, artists and bands struggle to make a living. In fact, only a small number of artists can live off their craft. For the 98% of artists that don't have the luxury of being signed to a label, it's tough. But artists deserve to live off their art. Wherever you are around the world, appreciation of music does not change. FENIX brings bands and their fans together, whilst allowing bands to properly monetize their passion. The FENIX app will directly connect bands and fans with no need for middlemen. We're utilizing the blockchain to give the power back to the artist once and for all. Join FENIX, join the change.